It is Friday morning, weekly weigh-in time. It is 12 noon, a little later, about 3 to 4 hours later than I typically would do this. It's just been a hella busy day, and I've got a meeting at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna try to squeeze in lunch, and I've got some prep to do for that meeting, so I'm gonna try to be brief today. I will say a few things I want to call out. This last week was really impacted by a couple of things. I've been under the weather. I still am. I'm feeling a lot better than I was a couple days ago, but I essentially took a sick day on Wednesday. I got really, really congested in terms of my sinuses. Was dealing with a lot of sinus pressure. I was not sleeping because I just could not get comfortable. Um, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I just really was impacted by my sinuses. Cut my running. I missed my Wednesday lift. I did lift on Monday, but I didn't lift on Wednesday. I did a shorter run on Tuesday. I did not run at all on Wednesday. I did a shorter run yesterday. No, I didn't run yesterday. I kind of made up that run today, and I'm going to make up my Tuesday run tomorrow morning. I typically try to do a shorter run on Sunday morning just to kind of prime my legs for my long run. But all in all, like the sinuses really, really were a factor. I've had a post nasal drip. My throat was really inflamed. That was a big part of the reason I couldn't sleep. So, my workouts have been impacted. I've been very busy at work, which has been a constant for the last couple of months. And then also, just have to admit, I really had a loss of discipline. Another behavior that I still fight is typically when I'm sick and specifically dealing with pain, one of my coping mechanisms is to eat, and I really ate poorly on Wednesday. And I already documented in another video that I really lost discipline last Friday. I had not dealt with a loss of discipline on my diet probably since August. And so, I just want to make sure I'm transparent about this. But before I get into all of that, let's get on the scale and see where I'm at. But just wanted to set expectations for this week. This was not a good week for me, but let's see where I'm at. So let's go into my Garmin app. I did a run this morning, as I just mentioned, to make up for basically the days where I wasn't. So weight. Wow. So I don't know. My body has really cut me a break this week in that in previous weeks it has not. I did not expect to see that. I have weighed myself every day, and yesterday I believe I was either 247 or 248. So I did not. Actually, I can see I'm down 3 pounds. So I was 248.4 yesterday. I expected to be somewhere, and I didn't expect to be 250, but I don't know. My body really, really cut me a break this week. So overall weight 245.4. Um, that's actually the lowest I've weighed in at. No, I weighed in 245.3 last week. BMI 27.6. Body fat, that is the lowest I have seen. I couldn't get under 29%. And I was happy last week when I came in at under 28%. Now I'm under 20. I was happy when I came in at under 29. Now I'm under 28. Skeletal muscle mass 92 pounds of muscle and 14.6 pounds of bone mass. My body water is increasing. That's likely going to increase as my body fat comes down. The nutritionist I was seeing, actually the dietitian I was seeing, I would not pay someone who's quote unquote a nutritionist. I was seeing a licensed dietitian told me a target body water percentage for me should be within 55 to 60%, but I was carrying so much body fat that it's difficult to make those numbers work. So you can see the offset. I've been typically 51, 50, 51. My body fat's come down a point and a half, so this is offsetting. So I stand corrected. Not a bad week at all. So that was a hell of a shock because I was expecting to see something like 247, 248. I don't know. I got a good break this time. I want to be 100% transparent, and I don't want people, my family reaches out, they're concerned, and stop beating yourself up. I'm not beating myself up. The purpose of this channel from the start was to document this process. There have been times where I've really beaten myself up. I don't feel bad about anything I've done in the last week. It's a really stressful period at work. It is difficult dealing with. Why is my work phone going off? This is probably just a scam. Um, it is really difficult dealing with being sick. That's just not something, I don't know if it's all men. Me, I'm a big, strong guy, and I really don't like feeling less than my best, at least physically. I was in a lot of pain for a good chunk of the week. I just had a lot of sinus pressure in my face and behind my ears. Sometimes my ears were clogged to the point where it felt like I had just gotten out of a pool. And I've had a post nasal drip. My throat has been inflamed all week. I just feel warm all the time. Like I just haven't felt good. On Wednesday, I just took a day for myself and just relaxed. I was really in a lot of pain. Sitting at this very desk, just sitting up, it just felt like someone was like I don't want to be overly dramatic, but it just felt like someone was kind of grinding their knuckles into my head. Like I just had a lot of sinus pressure. In the past, I've always had the mentality that I'm just going to eat and drink whatever I want when I'm sick, to make myself feel better. To the instant gratification, the same way I relate to stress, something negative, is to turn to food. And I did that on Wednesday. Last Friday, I felt very frustrated with the lack of progress that I've perceived. I can't believe it's taken this long and how impossible it's been to get under 245. I recorded a video last Saturday. I posted it. I'm not going to get into everything I did, but I essentially had a cheat meal for the first time since I said I was not going to have a cheat meal last Friday. On Wednesday, my wife bought a pizza. I didn't order it. I wasn't planning on ordering it. I was laying on the couch all day. I felt terrible. I had 4 slices of pizza. So I expected my weight to be terrible. And I was 247 on Wednesday. I thought I'd be well over 250 yesterday. It wasn't a huge pizza. It was probably a small. I don't know. It wasn't the same size as the ones I get from Papa John's. But either way, I had 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm being totally transparent about that. I expected my weight to be well over not well over, but in the ballpark of 250. I was 248 yesterday. So I did fast yesterday, but again, the lack of I think I just kind of chalked it up to this is a crummy week. And not think, I know I chalked it up to this is just a crummy week. I said, you know what? I'm going to get back on it yesterday. I'm going to run and I'm going to, blah, blah, blah. And I'm supposed to do 13 with my running buddies who were training for the marathon with me. They backed out. They were busy and I was going to do the 13. But when they backed out, I just felt like, you know what, this let's just chalk up this week. And so I they canceled on me later in the afternoon, maybe like 2 or 3, but I already had committed to fasting. I was going to break my fast at 5 with some oatmeal, which I did. I said, you know what, I'm not going to give up on the week. But like I said, I felt those undertones of this week just isn't going well. Just to hell with it. And I said I'll do 6.2 a 10K on a treadmill. So I had my oatmeal at 5. 5:30 comes. My head is still hurting. I still didn't feel well. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna do 3. 6 o'clock comes and I'm still working and I'm working until like 6:30. And I just said the hell with it. And I just kind of let my discipline go. I didn't eat anything too terrible. I had 2 trifecta. I had my oatmeal at 5. I had 2 trifecta meals, which are about 720 calories. And then I went back upstairs to get something, and I said, "The hell with it." I had a fake grilled cheese. I have a bad habit of eating. I had 2 slices of white bread and 2 slices of cheese. And so I had those, and I also got some of my blue corn chips and had those. And I ate a lot more than I really should have eaten, considering it was my fasting day. I essentially had my normal day's caloric intake from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. whenever I stopped. But I just feel like I gave up on the week. And I see now that had I done my 6, and even if I don't do the 6, because I wasn't feeling, it wasn't like I didn't do it because I was feeling lazy. It's just, even this morning doing my run, it was really, it was a lot of pressure in my face that just, I need to alleviate. I'm taking my Mucinex and trying to get it to clear up. But, all in all, I just think last Friday when I had a cheat meal, it really set the tone for a negative week. And it really got my hopes down because there have been so many times where I've done the right things and I thought I had it and it didn't materialize. And so I think just the negative energy and the negative tone from last week, where I essentially had a cheat meal for the first time. And now I feel like I've had two, definitely had two, and I feel like I've had two cheat meals in the last week. I think I just kind of let go of the discipline. Like every week, my fitness builds towards Friday. The big reason I do these weigh-ins is for accountability's sake. I know my family's gonna watch. I know they're gonna text me my weight. And there have been in the last few weeks so many times where I felt like I've done everything right and I didn't get the results I wanted. So doing things right and not getting the results I wanted made me very pessimistic this week, where I wasn't doing things right and I wasn't able to work out, and I'm not beating myself up about not working out at all. I'm just holding myself accountable for the one thing that is in my control, whether I'm sick, whether I'm busy, whatever, is my diet. And it's like yesterday I had this thought, you know what? First I said I'm not going to put up a weigh-in because it's embarrassing to admit when you have poor results. Like, it is very embarrassing for me. And there have been several times where I didn't eat right, and I said I'm not going to put the video up because I don't want to embarrass myself. And I'm particularly sensitive about it after my video 2 weeks ago, where I was telling everybody all week I'm going to do it, and I didn't. I felt really embarrassed by that. But I think it's really important to hold that accountability. I reached out to my family and friends and asked them to watch these videos, and I said I will post them every Friday by 12 noon. And so it is important to me to keep that transparency, to keep that pressure on myself. And after feeling down about it yesterday, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to pick myself up and I'm going to get back on it. This was a bad week, but next week, I've had a stretch of the last 2 months where I'm very happy with what I've done. I had a major setback with football weekend. I don't even blame myself for that. That's the only time I'm going to hang out with my buddies this year. It did set me back, but I'm fine with that, and I'm basically back to 245. But I think the big thing I wanted to communicate is that I'm all hyped up and like, I'm going to do my running, I'm going to do my lifting. And the most important thing is my nutrition. I can lift all I want, I can run all I want, but I have to nail down the nutrition, and I've got more room to grow there. I've got to do some more learning, but I think the important thing for me to focus on is the nutrition. Continue no cheat meals. I've made it this far. It's essentially 2 weeks now until, I committed to no cheat meals through the end of October. And that was 3 weeks ago. I've had 2 cheat meals and they've both been in the last week, but I've had like 3 or 4 weekends, I can't remember, whatever it is, where I haven't had a cheat meal, and that is an accomplishment, and that's something I've never done in my life. So my diet is the best it's ever been, even including the 2 lapses in discipline in the last week. And so I want to acknowledge that, but also want to acknowledge that me getting this last 20 pounds off is going to be a focus on nutrition. It is not a matter of doubling down on the running. It is not a matter of lifting. I mean, this week is proof positive. This week, my weight routines have just gotten destroyed by being sick, and that's fine. You know what? Every fall this happens. Every September, late September, October, when the leaves stop falling, I get a sinus infection, and it happens in the spring. So by no means am I beating myself up over that. But the nutrition, had I not had those 4 slices of pizza on Tuesday, I'd be sitting here at 243, 244 right now. So, the nutrition is the one thing that is the constant that I can always control. No one has control over what I put in my body but me. So, I really, while I definitely want to make a new push after my first kind of lackluster week. This is the first week where, I haven't been gung ho about this since essentially July, I guess you could say. August was when I really started to kind of correct the ship. As I said, the weekend after my birthday, I was 260 and I'm sitting here at 245 2.5 months later. So, one bad week in 2.5 months, I'll take that because I struggled with bad weeks every week for 20 years. But, just really want to point home that this next 2 weeks is going to be very busy for me. But the one thing I can control is my nutrition, and that needs to be my primary focus. Secondarily will be the running and the lifting, but the nutrition is what drives it all. So I got a lucky week. I'm not even going to call it a good week because it was a terrible week, but I'm going to really refocus this week and get back on it. So for now, for Reed Fitness, signing off.